I've been through hell. You know what I'm saying? I did most of the movies on cocaine. All About the Benjamins. I used to sit in Ice Cube's trailer in the morning and be crying, tears. He like, Mike, wipe your face, man. You a king, nigga. Stop doing this shit to yourself. I'm sitting there wiping myself because I was I had survivor's remorse. I was so sad that I left all them niggas here in this city and I was famous. And when I would come home, I wanted them to be happy for me and they was mad at me. So I said, damn, I got to destroy myself for you to like me. I was like, damn, my favorite nigga, it seemed like he liked me more when I'm coming down off coke and I'm crying and I hate myself. He was like, oh man, I love you, nigga. I'm praying for you. But when I wasn't high and I was working out and I looked good, he's like, nigga, you think you better than me. I said, nigga, how is my success a reflection of your failure? And that's what happens to the kids. They around here killing themselves, trying to fit in with somebody who's fucked up. That's the truth.
Yo, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? It's your man's DJ Key Product, the Chicago mixtape supplier, back with another one. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell so every time I drop new work over here on the Keys Network, you know what's going on. Before I get into anything, this video is brought to you by Underground Hittas Radio, the hottest internet radio station supporting independent artists. If you're an independent artist and you're looking for radio play and you're trying to get your songs on the radio, hit the email undergroundhitters@gmail.com and we will get those songs in rotation for you. Also, you can catch me every day at 5 p.m. in the mix for the 5 p.m. turnout right there on Underground Hitters Radio. Download our official app, Hittas Radio, for both iPhone and Android, and you can listen to us each and every day on a weekly and annually basis. All right, so now that I got that out the way, Mike Epps recently made an appearance on the All the Smoke podcast and with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and he was talking about this particular clip, at least, he was talking about how he had survivor's remorse and, you know, talking about how he was sad and he was doing cocaine when he was doing a lot of these movies and stuff, especially when he was doing the movie All About the Benjamins. And he was talking about how he sat in Ice Cube's trailer and he was crying and Ice Cube was like, man, you know, stop doing this to yourself and this, that, and the third. And, you know, he revealed that he had survivor's remorse and that whenever he would go home to Indianapolis, because that's where he's from, and he would see a lot of his friends and a lot of people that he, I guess, grew up with, he wanted them to be happy for him. And they weren't. And so, because they were doing certain things and they would get high and they would do XYZ, you know, he thought in his mind, like, okay, if I do those things with them, they might like me more. And so he started getting high and doing all this other stuff just so he could feel accepted and fit in. And then when he would be in those states where he was high, those same guys, man, I'm praying for you. This is the second and third. But then when he would get himself together, those people felt like, man, you think you better than me. This is that and the third. So a lot of successful people have those, they kind of have those feelings. And, you know, they often do go back to like, man, and they reminisce on like, man, we used to do such and such and such and such. And, you know, you come from a certain background and you make the decision that, man, you want better. You want better for yourself and you want better for your future and in your life. And you start working towards that. But those friends that you grew up with, you see, they've become a product of their environment and they've kind of learned to adapt and they kind of made the decision, all right, well, this is who I'm going to be. And once you've advanced past that, and you start doing certain things and you don't really have the time for them no more, they start to feel a certain type of way. And you know, the person that made it out, they kind of feel like, man, I left these guys behind, and this, and the third. But what you got to realize is that sometimes you can't take everybody with you to where you going. And I looked up the definition of survivor's remorse, and I wrote it down. And this was according to Google. So according to Google, survivor's remorse is a mental condition that occurs when a person believes they have done something wrong by surviving a traumatic or a tragic event when others did not. So basically, Mike Epps was like, look, I used comedy and my gift in making people laugh got me out of the hood. It got me famous. It got me a lot of opportunities and everything. And I made a career. I started doing movies and TV shows and all this other stuff. You know, he made it. And the people he was coming up with, they all decided to do drugs, and they decided to do this and do that and do that. And so, you know, they stayed. And you know, Mike Epps was like, look, I want better for myself. Man. And there was something he said at the end of that clip. He said a lot of kids do things to try to fit in with people who are messed up. And there's a lot of truth to that. You know, they may see their friends engaging in this and engaging in that, and they want to, you know, they want to be accepted by those group of friends. But you got to keep your eye on the prize. Like, you can't, like, don't hurt yourself and bring yourself down to their level. And you got opportunities laid out in front of you to where you could change your life. You made a decision to be better, so you got to walk in that, and you got to walk in that prosperity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and people get jealous. You know, some people be jealous that it ain't them, and they want you to keep you in the same predicament that they're in. But you just gotta remember, like, man, you got goals and dreams and things that you want to achieve it. But you got to recognize too that everybody can't go with you. Some people are like, they're only supposed to be in your life for like a season, and once that season has passed, you gotta move on, because some of those friends could be an anchor, and they could be keeping you from going where you want to go. And, you know, I know you don't want to leave certain people behind. There's people that I've had to leave behind, you know, in the wake of when I was, you know, getting better and getting a lot of opportunities as a DJ, you know, and really bettering myself as a man and, you know, with my career. Certain folk, they started feeling a certain type of way, because it's like, man, I don't want to be in the same position as you, you know, doing this all day long, and you in and out of jail, and you always in trouble and all this other stuff. I didn't want that for myself. So, you know, and then I always think about my parents. Like, I always want to make my parents proud and stuff. So, yeah, man, survivor's remorse is a real thing, though. You know, it's a real situation, and some people, they do kind of, you know, when they make it to a certain level, it's like, man, gee, I left the guys behind, and it does something to you, and this is that and the third. But you just, like I said, you got to remember, like, man, everybody can't go with you to that next level, and, you know, you made it. You made your decision to be better, and so stand in that, walk in that prosperity, and continue to be great. You know, and you can't worry about who's behind and all this other stuff. People make their decisions, and you can want better for somebody, but they gotta want it for themselves. You know, so, man. Yep. Survivor's remorse. It's a real thing, man. But You know, you walk in your prosperity and you know, focus on that. What say you? Drop a comment, leave a like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell. And until next time, you already know. Hey.